Hello, welcome to a Getting Started video. Today we cover MRI-Simmons Catalyst. We'll go over how to access the database, what's in it, and two main ways to use it, crosstab analysis and quick reports. Let's get started. Go to the library website at lib.purdue.edu to locate our A to Z list of databases. You'll find MRI-Simmons Catalyst under the letter M. MRI-Simmons is the leading provider of data about USA consumers. Their Catalyst product is a top tool to gain insight into consumer demographics, lifestyles, product, and brand use. The data is collected from an address-based, probabilistic sample of approximately 25,000 or 48,000 people randomly recruited. The variation is based on the study you pick. Heavily used for both marketing and academic research, all universities have a 2-year data time delay. Purdue has a limit of 10 concurrent users, so please log out when you're finished. Here is the MRI-Simmons Catalyst homepage. The My Work area is where Purdue users keep shared data. Crosstab analysis is the typical way to use MRI-Simmons Catalyst. You identify a target population and look for correlations. Two things to keep in mind. One, it's entirely up to you to do the educated guesswork. You try out variables and see if they correlate. The workflow is highly iterative. You need to be creative and willing to dig. 2. The button pushing can be a bit complicated. Go to Analyze, Crosstab. Pick a study. We'll go for the default. In this example, we'll look for correlations between people who run or jog every week and their beverage drinking habits. Dictionary is the full codebook of data variables. Browse it or search it. We'll browse. Leisure, sports. Sports. How often engaged in? 2+ times a week. Jogging, running, each. When we click Add, each variable is added to the coding box in the middle of the screen. From there, we need to decide whether the variable is a base, column, or row. Columns are the target audience, who you want to know about. We want to know about people who run or jog 2+ times a week, so we'll add the variable as a column. Typically, you start with a column and then add rows. The rows are what you want to know about, the people you want to know about. The rows tell you about the column, in other words. Next, we want to know what people who run or jog 2+ times a week are drinking. How does their consumption of 5 types of beverages compare with people who don't run or jog 2+ times weekly? Back to the dictionary. Beverages. Cognac and brandy. Diet cola drinks. Energy drinks. Imported beer and ale. Ready-to-drink iced tea, kombucha. We've identified 5 variables. We need to add these as rows. Remember, rows tell us about the target population in the column. Then we run the report. Moving quickly, let's decode the findings. Unweighted is the sample size for the dataset. 2,615 people out of the MRI-Simmons probabilistic sample run or jog 2+ times weekly. Weighted is the probabilistic sample size in terms of the overall USA population. Add 3 zeros to the number. 12,418,000 people in the USA run or jog 2+ times weekly. Vertical and horizontal refer to the percent of the column reached by the row and vice versa. And this video will focus on the index data point. The index is the critical data point. It represents the likelihood of the target to meet specified criteria relative to the base USA adult population. In other words, here is what the index tells us. Look at energy drinks. Relative to the general adult population, people who run or jog 2+ times a week are 31% more likely to exhibit heavy use of energy drinks. Look at imported beer and ale. Relative to the general adult population, people who run or jog 2+ times a week are 22% more likely to exhibit heavy use of imported beer and ale. In contrast, relative to the general adult population, people who run or jog 2+ times a week are 24% less likely to exhibit heavy use of Diet Cola and 43% less likely to exhibit heavy use of ready-to-drink iced tea or kombucha. Important, note the cognac and brandy variable. The asterisk, the star symbol, warns about insufficient data. We should ignore the correlation. Overall, by analyzing the 5 crosstabs, marketers can make decisions about which of the 5 beverages to pitch to regular runners and joggers. At the same time, academic researchers can gain insight into runners, joggers, and their beverage consumption. Crosstab analysis can be powerful and complex. An alternative way to use MRI-Simmons Catalyst is to do quick reports. Go to Profile, Quick Reports, create a target group you want to learn about. For example, we'll pick household products, pets, packaged dry cat food, brand, Meow Mix, add as a target. Run the report. From there, we can get an infographic overview of people who buy Meow Mix. When we return to the main menu, we can obtain additional infographics about people who buy Meow Mix. Now you know how to access MRI-Simmons, what's in it, and 2 ways to use it: Crosstab analysis, quick reports. For more information, visit the Parish Library homepage. If you have questions, please contact the Parish Library. Thanks for watching.